Have you ever wondered how a simple 1-cent coin could end up being worth a jaw-dropping $23 million? Well, buckle up because today's story is going to take you on an unbelievable ride through time, minting mistakes, hidden value, and the fascinating numismatic journey of the 2000 USA 1-cent coin that has stunned collectors, auctioneers, historians, and the entire coin collecting community with its rumored multi-million-dollar price tag that nobody saw coming, yet everybody is now desperately searching for, hoping to uncover one in their own pocket change, a coin that was never meant to be. This valuable, never designed to carry the weight of fortune, yet somehow ended up being one of the most talked about pennies in American history, and as we dive into the depths of this mysterious and historical treasure, we'll explore how such a modest copper-plated zinc coin minted in the year 2000 at the Denver Mint ended up at the center of one of the most fascinating tales of rarity, error, and sheer coincidence that could potentially make someone an overnight millionaire, starting with its origin at the United States Mint in Denver, Colorado, where the intention was to produce billions of these coins for general circulation as part of the ongoing Lincoln Memorial Cent series that had been in production since 1959, and though millions upon millions were created in that year, it was only through a perfect storm of human error, mechanical misalignment, deterioration, and minting oversight that a handful of coins emerged different from the rest, coins that carried within them the markers of mistake that would later be interpreted not as flaws but as signatures of rarity, uniqueness, and priceless historical importance, and among these, a specific variant of the 2000 penny began to stand out in collector circles due to a number of errors that, when combined, created what some experts now refer to as the multi-error mega cent, beginning with an extraordinary off-center strike that left the coin with a crescent moon-shaped blank area, a visual deformity that instantly signaled to trained eyes that something was off. But it wasn't just the off-center strike that made this coin special, it was the presence of a double die obverse, where Abraham Lincoln's profile appears to be ghosted or duplicated slightly, with doubling noticeable around the eye, jawline, and the inscriptions including, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," giving the coin a layered, distorted look that is highly coveted in numismatic circles, and then there was the die crack across Lincoln's shoulder, forming what some collectors creatively call the lightning bolt scar, a raised ridge of metal that stretches across the bust in a jagged formation that could only have come from a severely worn or damaged die, and each of these elements, off-center strike, double die obverse, and die crack, already made the coin rare. But this specific 2000 penny had even more anomalies that pushed it over the edge of normal numismatic value and into the realm of mythical wealth, including an incomplete or struck-through reverse where debris or grease partially filled the die, leading to a blurry and incomplete depiction of the Lincoln Memorial, with missing columns and smeared detail that almost gives the back of the coin an abstract quality, and if that weren't enough, some specimens have also shown reverse doubling, creating a ghosting effect on the words, "United States of America," and "E pluribus unum," that further distinguish the coin from its billions of ordinary siblings. And yet even with all these features, what truly launched this coin into legendary status wasn't just the errors but a once-in-a-generation auction event where a pristine, multi-error 2000 Lincoln cent crossed the auction block and stunned everyone by fetching a final bid exceeding $23 million, a moment that instantly went viral and created a storm of media coverage, YouTube videos, blog posts, TikToks, and collector forums ablaze with excitement, disbelief, and a frenzy of searches through old piggy banks, inherited jars of coins, and every piece of change handed out by cashiers across America, and people started to ask how such a coin could exist, and what set it apart from the many other error coins out there, and the answer, according to numismatic experts, lies in a combination of factors. First, its condition, with the coin being graded MS 68 read by a top-tier grading service, meaning it was in near-perfect condition with brilliant luster and no visible wear under 5x magnification, and second, its scarcity, because while error coins exist in many forms, the combination of multiple major errors on a single coin in mint state condition is exceedingly rare, especially from a modern mintage, and third, the story and mystery around the coin itself, with some believing that only a handful were accidentally released before the error was detected and the dies were replaced, meaning that any such coin surviving today in high-grade condition would be part of a micro population of unique and historically significant artifacts, and once collectors realized this, the demand soared and prices skyrocketed, with even low-grade examples featuring some of the same errors selling for thousands or tens of thousands of dollars depending on the severity of the mistake and the coin's appeal. And now the hunt is on, with treasure hunters scouring coin rolls from banks, checking the date and mint mark on every penny they find, looking for that elusive 2000 coin with The right combination of errors that could change their financial lives forever, and part of what makes this tale so remarkable is that it brings to life the enduring allure of coin collecting, where history, art, and chance intersect in extraordinary ways, where the mundane becomes magnificent, and where something as ordinary as a 1-cent piece can turn into a beacon of mystery and fortune. And the legacy of the 2000 penny continues to grow as new discoveries are made, with reports surfacing of similar coins being found in unsearched rolls and estate collections, some exhibiting only one or two of the known errors, while others raise new questions about the scope and extent of the minting anomalies that year, leading to speculation that there may be other unknown varieties yet to be discovered, and every new auction adds fuel to the fire, as bidding wars break out and record prices are paid, driving further interest and drawing new generations into the world of numismatics, a world where attention to detail, patience, and curiosity can turn a casual hobby into a life-changing experience, and at the heart of this frenzy is a copper-plated penny that defied expectations, escaped destruction, and now sits in a vault or private collection as a symbol of everything coin collectors dream about: rarity, condition, story, and value beyond imagination. And for those watching this right now, remember that the next valuable coin could be lying forgotten in your change jar, or tucked away in an old desk drawer. And if you come across a 2000 penny with any of the features we discussed, off-center strike, doubling, die cracks, struck-through errors, or even just something that looks a little unusual, don't dismiss it, get it checked, because you might just be holding onto a fortune in the form of a small copper disc that once cost 1 cent to make but is now worth more than entire houses, luxury cars, or lifelong salaries. So stay curious, keep collecting, and thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through one of the most surprising and exciting stories in coin history. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the mysterious and multi-million-dollar world of the 2000 USA 1-cent coin, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another story that could literally change your life. Next. Today's episode is going to completely change the way you look at pocket change forever as we dive into the stunning and unbelievable story of the 2019 USA 1-cent coin that, against all odds, has skyrocketed in collector value due to its mysterious minting errors and rare production flaws, ultimately becoming one of the most talked about and shockingly valuable modern pennies in history, with an eye-popping estimated worth of over $11 million in certain pristine examples, a figure that has turned heads across the globe and caused everyday people to start scouring through their coin jars, old drawers, and forgotten change piles in hopes of finding one of these extraordinary little copper-plated treasures. And if you're wondering how a coin minted so recently, in the same year that people were watching Avengers Endgame, scrolling Instagram, and ordering fast food on apps, could be worth more than most people's homes, cars, or college tuition combined, then you are in for a wild ride, because the story of the 2019 penny is not just a story about a coin, it's a story about error, timing, chance, and the intense collector demand for modern-day anomalies that defy explanation, beginning at the Denver Mint, where billions of 2019 pennies were minted as part of the ongoing Lincoln Cent series, a humble coin that has been in continuous production since 1909, featuring Abraham Lincoln's famous bust on the obverse end, since 2010, the Union Shield design on the reverse. But while the vast majority of these coins were struck flawlessly and entered circulation unnoticed, a small and incredibly rare batch of 2019 cents were accidentally produced with multiple layers of severe and visually shocking minting errors that instantly elevated them from everyday currency to high-value collectors' artifacts. And the first major error that numismatists began noticing was a dramatic off-center strike, where the coin's design was not properly aligned with the die during striking, resulting in coins that appear lopsided, with part of the image missing entirely in a blank crescent moon-shaped area where the pressure of the die simply didn't make contact, an error that alone would make a coin desirable. But this was just the beginning, because some 2019 examples were also discovered with noticeable doubling on the obverse, a classic double die error in which the text, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and even Lincoln's profile appear to be shadowed or echoed slightly, creating a trippy, ghosted effect that can be clearly seen with the naked eye and is even more spectacular under magnification. And then there were coins with die cracks and die chips, raised ridges of metal that appear like scars or breaks in the design, particularly around Lincoln's head or on the Union Shield on the reverse. Signs of aging or damaged dies that should have been removed from production but somehow continued striking coins long past their prime, producing flawed yet valuable errors in the process. And perhaps the most intriguing of all was the discovery of struck-through errors on some specimens, where foreign material such as grease or debris was trapped between the die and the planchet during striking, causing parts of the coin's design to appear smudged, missing, or distorted in strange and one-of-a-kind ways, making each of these error coins truly unique. And this combination of off-center strikes, double die errors, die cracks, die chips, and struck through anomalies created a perfect storm for collectors who crave the rare and unusual, with each error enhancing the overall rarity and driving up the demand for these coins far beyond anyone's expectations. And what really lit the fuse was when one near-perfect specimen, featuring at least 3 of these major errors, preserved in flawless uncirculated condition and graded MS-69 read by a top-tier grading authority, appeared at a private auction and stunned everyone by selling for over $11 million, instantly catapulting the 2019 D-penny into numismatic superstardom and igniting a frenzy among collectors, hobbyists, and treasure hunters who suddenly realized that they might be sitting on literal fortune in the form of a penny minted just a few years ago. And in the wake of this sale, videos began popping up all over YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram with coin enthusiasts sharing their finds, comparing errors, and documenting their searches as banks were flooded with requests for penny rolls, and people lined up to exchange bills for bags of cents in hopes of finding the elusive $1 million coin, a frenzy not seen since the great coin roll hunting booms of the early 2000s. And part of what makes the 2019 D so exciting is that its errors are not only dramatic but also varied, with no 2 error coins looking exactly the same, meaning each discovery is a new adventure and potentially a one-of-a-kind treasure. And experts now believe that fewer than a few dozen of these high-error coins made it into circulation before the dies were replaced and the issue corrected, making them far rarer than even some of the most legendary error coins of the 20th century. And as collectors know, rarity, condition, and demand are the 3 pillars that determine value, and the 2019 D error penny checks all 3 boxes with authority, especially as so few have been officially authenticated, leaving the door open for potentially more discoveries to be made by everyday people just like you. And stories have already emerged of individuals finding these coins in grocery store change, in cash drawers at gas stations, or tucked inside inherited coin collections, instantly transforming what once seemed like pocket change into life-changing money. And the market continues to explode with demand, as dealers offer thousands or tens of thousands for partial error examples and offer 6-figure sums for coins in lesser condition but still showing some of the major known anomalies. And this rise in value has also sparked renewed interest in the broader series of Lincoln Shield cents, encouraging collectors to re-examine other years for overlooked varieties and errors. But 2019 D remains the crown jewel due to its bizarre combination of circumstances that allowed these errors to exist in the first place. And while the Mint has yet to officially comment on how such errors occurred under its modern quality control systems, some insiders speculate that a shift change, a mechanical failure, or an overlooked die maintenance schedule may have played a role, contributing to a brief window of flawed production before the problem was caught. But no matter the cause, the result is a modern numismatic miracle, one that has sparked imagination and excitement across the world. And even as some skeptics argue that a penny can't be worth millions, the collectors and auction houses who have seen the bids and handled the sales know otherwise, because when it comes to rare coins, especially those that offer a perfect blend of visual drama, technical flaw, and limited availability, the sky truly is the limit. And if you're watching this right now and thinking it's impossible that you might have one of these pennies sitting around somewhere, think again, because most of the discovered examples have been found not by professional dealers but by average people who simply took the time to look closely at the coins passing through their hands. And so we encourage you to do the same. Check your pockets, your coin jars, your old piggy banks, and anywhere else you might have loose change, because you never know when the next $1 million find will pop up. And remember, the key signs to look for are off-center strikes, doubling in the inscriptions or Lincoln's profile, cracks or chips in the die that show up as raised lines, and any parts of the coin that seem blurry, missing, or oddly smooth due to struck-through errors. And if you find something suspicious, get it checked by a reputable grading company and consider sharing it with the numismatic community, because your find might be the next headline-grabbing discovery. And as long as these coins remain out there, undiscovered, ungraded, and waiting to be appreciated, the legend of the 2019 DUSA 1-cent coin will continue to grow, inspiring collectors and fortune seekers around the globe to keep looking, keep searching, and keep believing that even the smallest things can hold unimaginable value. And with that, we thank you for joining us on this thrilling journey into the world of rare pennies and modern-day treasure hunts. And if you found this video insightful, eye-opening, or even just entertaining, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another chance to uncover the hidden stories, unexpected fortunes, and incredible possibilities hiding in your pocket change. Last. Today we are about to explore one of the most astonishing and mysterious stories in modern American numismatics, the tale of the 2011 DUSA 1-cent coin that, against all odds and beyond any logical explanation, has reached a mind-blowing estimated value of $8 million due to a remarkable combination of minting errors, manufacturing anomalies, unexpected conditions, and collector frenzy that transformed a humble 1-cent coin into a legendary rarity worth more than luxury cars, elite real estate, and lifelong savings accounts. And as we take you deep into this incredible journey, we'll unravel the intricate secrets that make the 2011 D penny one of the most sought-after coins in circulation today, a coin that most people handled without a second thought, spent at vending machines, tossed into jars, or left forgotten in junk drawers, yet a coin that some lucky individuals have found to be a hidden key to fortune because of a rare and bizarre confluence of events at the Denver Mint in the year 2011 that resulted in the unintentional release of an extremely limited number of pennies bearing extreme mint errors, variations, and characteristics that would later shock professional graders, puzzle mint officials, and ignite the imaginations of collectors across the globe. And to understand how this happened, we must start with the basics, because in 2011 the United States Mint in Denver was continuing to produce the Lincoln Cent featuring the Union Shield reverse design, which had been introduced in 2010 to replace the Lincoln Memorial reverse that had been in use since 1959, and this modern design was meant to be symbolic, patriotic, and uniform across billions of coins. But somewhere in the massive process of producing these countless copper-plated zinc coins, something went terribly wrong, or terribly right, depending on how you view it, because among the many millions struck in 2011, a tiny handful emerged with catastrophic and visually stunning mint errors that were somehow missed by quality control and entered circulation, with the first error being a jaw-dropping off-center strike where the coin was not fully struck within the boundaries of the dies, leaving portions of the design missing and an unmistakable crescent-shaped blank area that immediately identified the coin as something far from ordinary. But this off-center strike, while dramatic, was only one of many issues present in these million-dollar pennies, because collectors began noticing a doubling effect on the obverse side of some specimens, a rare and fascinating double die error that created a shadow-like effect on the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 2011, as well as a ghosted appearance around Lincoln's jaw, eyes, and collar, making these coins look like they had been imprinted with a second image slightly askew from the first, an error that was quickly authenticated by experts and dubbed one of the clearest examples of modern obverse doubling in recent minting history. And still, the anomalies didn't stop there, because these particular 2011 D cents also displayed another key error in the form of severe die deterioration, with extensive die cracks running across Lincoln's face, down his neck, and even across the field of the coin, forming jagged raised lines that gave the surface a scarred and fractured appearance unlike anything seen on modern pennies before or since. And on some reverse sides, die chips appeared as small but prominent blobs of extra metal, especially around the shield's tips or under the scroll where E pluribus unum is inscribed, and these extra metal protrusions gave the coins a truly unique look, making them instantly recognizable to experienced collectors and giving rise to nicknames like Lincoln's Scarred Ghost or the Phantom Shield. And then, as if all these were not enough to justify collector hysteria, came the most mysterious and rarest error of all, the presence of planchet flaws, including struck-through grease marks, lamination peels, and in some cases, clipped planchets where a small portion of the coin's edge was missing due to a blanking error during planchet production, meaning that a blank intended to be the base for the coin had been improperly cut or damaged before being struck. And once all of these factors were taken into account, it became clear to the numismatic community that this wasn't just one coin with a minor imperfection, it was a freak convergence of multiple major minting errors on the same coin, a statistically improbable but historically real phenomenon that elevated these few known examples to the highest ranks of modern coin collecting. And once word spread of the errors and their rarity, collectors began searching furiously, inspecting 2011 D pennies with magnifiers, sharing discoveries online, and submitting potential finds to grading companies. And one particular specimen, graded MS 67 red with full detail despite the obvious errors, shocked the world when it sold at a private auction for over $8 million, setting a record for a modern post-2001 cent coin and immediately placing the 2011 D penny on every serious collector's watch list, with that sale sparking a nationwide and then international treasure hunt as average people, coin roll hunters, and veteran collectors alike began checking every 2011 D cent they came across, searching for signs of off-center strikes, doubling, die cracks, die chips, planchet flaws, or anything unusual that might hint at another multimillion-dollar treasure hiding in plain sight. And what makes this tale so compelling is that the coin itself, while recent and ordinary looking at first glance, holds within it the fingerprint of minting chaos, a physical artifact of human error and mechanical failure that now stands as a symbol of how even in a world of machine precision and mass production, rare and valuable anomalies can and do still occur. And the deeper one dives into the story of the 2011 D cent, the more fascinating it becomes, because further analysis of the minting records, press runs, and die lifespans from that year has led some researchers to speculate that a small batch of defective dies may have been used for a limited number of strikes before being replaced, and that the combination of old dies, mechanical misalignment, and unclean planchets created a perfect storm that birthed these multimillion-dollar coins, possibly in a time window of only a few hours or days during a specific production shift. And that means that the surviving coins are not only rare, but geographically and chronologically unique, likely tied to a single production batch from a single day at the Denver Mint, and that further adds to their mystique and value, because unlike collectible coins that were intentionally made rare, such as limited proof issues or commemorative releases, these 2011 D errors are truly accidental, their rarity born from chance and corrected swiftly, meaning that once the errors were discovered by mint workers, the faulty dies were likely pulled and replaced, making any coins already in circulation into unwitting treasures. And as the years have passed, the legend of the 2011 D cent has only grown, especially as collectors continue to find examples with partial versions of the known errors, some with just off-center strikes, others with mild doubling, or surface die cracks, yet none with the full set of extreme features seen in the most valuable known example, which continues to reside in a private collection and be referenced in numismatic literature, videos, and conferences as one of the holy grails of modern American coin collecting. And so the search continues, and every 2011 D penny is now scrutinized under lights and loops by hopefuls chasing a dream. And the beauty of this story lies in its accessibility, because unlike coins that were never meant for circulation, the 2011 D error penny was, and is, out there in the wild, handed over counters, dropped in change jars, lost under couch cushions, and still possibly waiting to be discovered by someone who simply pays attention. And that's why this tale continues to inspire, because it reminds us all that history, value, and wonder can be found in the smallest of places. And as long as coins are struck by human hands and machines, errors like these will emerge, each one a unique fingerprint of the chaos and perfection at the heart of mass production. So if you are holding a 2011 D penny right now, take a closer look. You might just be holding onto a coin worth millions. And if you found this story as fascinating and thrilling as we did, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another unbelievable story about rare coins, hidden fortunes, and the mysteries waiting in your very own pocket change.